Let's transition and let's go to the association and let's talk about Draymond Green as the NBA suspended Draymond Green indefinitely. And this decision takes into account, quote, a repeated history of unsportsmanlike acts. This is Draymond Green's sixth career suspension. This comes after Draymond Green, he swung and hit Yusuf Nurkic for the Phoenix Suns. And the NBA says Green will not be eligible to return until he meets, quote, certain league and team conditions. And here's Golden State Warriors general manager Mike Dunleavy on Draymond Green after the NBA handed down the suspension.
Anybody that has an amount of games or time suggested or in their head, I'm just telling you right now is wrong, because we don't have that. I don't think Draymond has that. I don't think the league has that. So anything beyond that is hearsay. We think for now the healthiest thing is for him to be around, and that it may not be every single day, but we're not jettisoning the guy off somewhere.
Is it still the organization's expectation that this is a long-term partnership with Draymond?
Yeah, I think so. We're committed to him. He's been here for a long time. He's hung a ton of banners and means so much to this organization. And like I said before, I think this is about turning this thing into a positive and getting better. And so I think that happens, and we feel really good because, again, his play has been terrific. It's just been his lack of availability that's not been great, and we want to make that better.
That was general manager Mike Dunleavy for the Golden State Warriors. And so my reaction to the NBA suspending Draymond Green indefinitely is it's well deserved. And I don't say that with enthusiasm, and it kind of pains me, honestly, to say that the NBA got it right suspending Draymond Green indefinitely, because I respect the hell out of Draymond Green. You look at Draymond Green, he is a four-time NBA champion, four-time NBA All-Star. He won an NBA Defensive Player of the Year award back in 2017. He's been on the All-NBA first team defensive team 4 times in his career. He's been on the All-NBA defensive second team 4 times in his career. And he has been the heart and soul of the Golden State Warriors dynasty. Yes, Steph Curry is the greatest shooter that God has ever created, and he's the best player during this Golden State Warriors dynasty. But Draymond Green has been the heart and soul of this Golden State Warriors basketball team during their dynasty, and he's been the defensive anchor since the Warriors became a dynasty when they won their first championship back in 2015. But after I witnessed Draymond Green literally slap Nurkic in the Warriors-Suns game a few nights ago, I thought to myself, I can no longer defend Draymond Green anymore. I can't defend Draymond anymore. You look at Draymond Green. He has the second most ejections, and this is in the last 25 seasons. He has the second most ejections with 18 ejections. Only player who's been ejected more than Draymond Green is Rasheed Wallace. And has been ejected 18 times in his career. But if you look at what he's done over the last year, this is within the last year. He was suspended for 1 game in March earlier this year, and he picked up his 16th technical. He was also suspended in April for 1 game because he got into it with Sabonis, and he basically stumped out Sabonis. And so they got into it, and he was suspended for 1 game during the playoff series last year between the Warriors and the Kings. And then he got suspended last month with the altercation involving Rudy Gobert, where he choked out Rudy Gobert, MMA style, and pretty much dragged him across the floor. Now, he's had other suspensions. He was suspended in 2018 for conduct detrimental to the team. And then remember, in the 2016 NBA Finals, Game 4 in Cleveland, he got into an altercation with LeBron. He was suspended for 1 game. Honestly, that cost the Warriors a championship. Because if Draymond Green doesn't get suspended in Game 5 of the 2016 NBA Finals, I don't believe the Cleveland Cavaliers overcome a 3-1 deficit and beat the Golden State Warriors. And remember, in that NBA Finals, Draymond Green not only cost himself a championship, he cost himself a chance to win NBA Finals MVP. Make no mistake about it. Draymond Green was going to be the NBA Finals MVP had they beaten the Cleveland Cavaliers in the 2016 NBA Finals. But this suspension is warranted because, and I've been listening to the NBA and the statements that they've made. This is the thing right now with Draymond Green and the Warriors and what's going on with the suspension. The NBA is not suspending Draymond Green to necessarily punish Draymond Green. They're suspending Draymond Green so they can figure out what the hell is going on with Draymond Green. That's what we have to keep in mind here. Like, this is not about punishing Draymond Green. Clearly, punishing Draymond Green has not worked. It hasn't worked. Okay, within the last year, he's been suspended 4 times. 4 times. So punishing Draymond Green is not working for the NBA. So now, the NBA, along with the Players Association, they're trying to figure out what the hell is going on with Draymond Green. What's going on? Is it some off-the-court issues that he's dealing with at home? What's going on with Draymond? Because we continue to have incident after incident after incident. And after he slapped Nurkic, I thought to myself, I can no longer support Draymond Green. And we now have to figure out what the hell is going on with Draymond Green. Because now you got NBA players speaking out against Draymond Green. Like we heard Nurkic say in the post-game press conference, he said, whatever help he needs, I hope he can get the help that he needs. And we also heard Kevin Durant, a former teammate and friend of Draymond Green, also came out and said, I'm hoping he can get the help that he needs with whatever he's dealing with. That's what Kevin Durant said about Draymond Green. So now you got players in the NBA who are essentially saying, I don't feel safe on the basketball court with Draymond Green. So the NBA has to figure this out. And the thing is, Draymond, he has to be accountable and deal with whatever issues that he's dealing with off the court so he can get back on the court. And no one in this situation is going to support Draymond Green anymore. They're not. When I heard Steve Kerr finally came out and he held Draymond Green accountable. This was Steve Kerr. I believe this was last night. Steve Kerr, he said, this is on Draymond Green's indefinite suspension. This is Steve Kerr. He says, the one who choked Rudy Gobert, the one who took a wild flail at Nurkic, the one who punched Jordan Poole last year, that's the guy who needs to change. And the first thing I thought to myself when I heard Steve Kerr say those things about Draymond Green, it's about damn time, Steve. I kept hearing Steve Kerr time and time again go and defend Draymond Green in post-game press conferences. And I kept thinking to myself, when is he going to hold Draymond Green accountable? When is it, if the Warriors organization is not holding Draymond Green accountable, then he doesn't feel like he's necessarily wrong when he has these incidents on the basketball court. Why the hell would he ever stop if the organization is not holding him accountable? That's what I was so happy that I finally saw Steve Kerr finally hold Draymond accountable. It's about damn time. It's about damn time. But the thing is, too, keep in mind, Joe Dumars, he's the VP for for basketball operations for the NBA. He's the one who handles disciplinary action for NBA players and so forth. He is a part of this decision to suspend Draymond Green indefinitely. You know who else is a part of this decision? Andre Iguodala. Andre Iguodala is the interim executive director for the Players Association right now. And Andre Iguodala, who's a former teammate of Draymond Green and a friend of Draymond Green, was also a part of the decision to suspend him indefinitely. So Draymond, he doesn't have anyone who has his back in this situation, so he has to hold himself accountable. I'm a big believer in, like, when you deal with people and their imperfections. If, as an individual, I'm gonna just speak from a man's perspective. If my girlfriend's telling me something, I might listen to it, I might not. If my best friend is telling me something, I might listen to it, I might not. If my sister is telling me something about myself, I might listen to it, I might not. But once it gets to multiple family and friends telling you about yourself, at some point you have to look in the mirror as an individual. Because, you know, a lot of times when people do things in life, you have someone who enables them. And they tell them, oh, it's not that bad. It's okay. You good. Keep being you. Keep doing what makes you happy. But once you have multiple people in your life who are important to you, telling you that you're wrong, and they're holding you accountable, usually that's when people start holding themselves accountable because they no longer have anyone to enable them. But Steve Kerr's recent comments tells me that no one in the Warriors organization, no one supports Draymond Green right now when it comes to the actions that has happened on the basketball court. They don't support it. Now, the one person, I will admit, the one person that we haven't heard from, but I do believe that it's a possibility that he's talking to Draymond Green privately, but he hasn't said anything publicly, is Steph Curry. Which leads me to where I want to go next with what I'm talking about. ESPN's Stephen A. Smith, he was on First Take, and they were talking about the situation involving Draymond Green, and they were discussing Steph Curry's leadership. They were not questioning Steph Curry's leadership. They were basically talking about how if LeBron was in this situation, how he would be held accountable to have to hold Draymond Green accountable, basically. And they were saying that LeBron would not be allowed to just not have anything to say about it and not call out Draymond Green. Everybody know, and I agree with Stephen A. 100% on this, and I agree with Kendrick Perkins, everybody. Draymond Green, if he was playing for the Lakers, LeBron James would not be able to just not speak on Draymond Green publicly and let it be known that Draymond Green is tripping and needs to get his act together. We hold LeBron James to a different standard. And all Stephen A. was saying, well, and Kendrick Perkins, all they were saying was, why don't we hold Steph Curry to that same standard that we hold LeBron James to? And I 1,000% agree. I couldn't agree more. I agree 100% because at some point, we have to look at the leadership on this basketball team and wonder, why the hell hasn't anybody pulled Draymond Green to the side and said, bro, what the hell are you doing? What are you doing? Like, we need you in order to compete in the Western Conference. We need you in order to compete for another NBA championship. This Warriors dynasty has won 8 championships. Steph wants to win another championship. And Steph Curry is still in his prime. But the only way that Steph Curry will have a chance to win a 5th NBA championship is if Draymond Green is in the lineup and available. And we all know best ability is availability. And the Golden State Warriors, in order for them to be contenders in the Western Conference, they need Draymond Green in the lineup. He needs to be that enforcer for this basketball team. The same way Dennis Rodman was the enforcer for the Chicago Bulls. The same way Bill Laimbeer was the enforcer for the Detroit Pistons at one point. The Warriors need their enforcer in Draymond Green. And if Draymond Green doesn't get his act together, it's a possibility that Draymond Green could be out of the league. They're not suspending Draymond Green for a punishment here. They're suspending Draymond Green to find out what the hell was going on with Draymond Green. And we don't want to see Draymond Green out the league. We don't want to see his Hall of Fame career come to an end like this. This ain't how it's supposed to be. And honestly, even when you look at the Warriors overall, Klay Thompson's struggling. He's having one of his worst seasons shooting the basketball right now. Andrew Wiggins, he's been awful so far this season. The Warriors are struggling overall as a basketball team right now. Like, I'm wondering, like, man, are the Warriors even going to make the play-in? Are they going to make the play-in? Because it's just not looking good. And you look at where they are right now in the Western Conference, they're struggling mightily right now. I'm trying to put up the Warriors' record. I can't find their record right now, but they have a losing record. The Warriors have a losing record, and they're not playing good basketball. They lost to the Clippers last night, 10-14. That's the Warriors' record right now. They're 11th in the Western Conference. So, again, Draymond Green, we have to find out what the hell was going on with Draymond Green off the basketball court, and I think that's the first priority right now. Find out what's going on with Draymond Green. I don't have a problem with the indefinite suspension, but I do believe that they have to get Draymond Green the help that he needs. Because even people who support and love Draymond Green, they're not supporting him in this situation. They are no longer supporting him in his acts overall in general. So, again, like, this is one of the best enforcers in NBA history. He's one of the best defensive players in NBA history. And in order for the Warriors to be contenders in the Western Conference, they're going to need to get back Draymond Green, and they're going to have to figure out what's going on with him. What's going on with him? Because I've always been a supporter of Draymond. Like, I've never had a problem with Draymond defending his teammates. Draymond is literally a perfect example of a friend who's a ride or die friend and gonna have your back through thick and thin. That's Draymond Green. Draymond Green as a teammate and as a brother is the perfect person to have as a brother or a teammate or a friend. He's the perfect person because he's going to ride or die with his teammates and his friends and his brothers. But it's gotten out of hand what's going on with Draymond Green with these suspensions. And I'm glad the NBA has basically suspended him indefinitely, not for a punishment, but because they want to find out what's going on with Draymond Green internally and fix those issues so he can return back to the basketball court. But those are my thoughts on Draymond Green being suspended by the NBA